Governor Mathews. He's in District 56, and he's really been pushing this new legislation about income tax. I'm going to put on my glasses so I can read it okay. It says, when you say eliminating the state income tax, what exactly does that mean?
I came to Columbus to work on good common sense legislation, whether that is saving the Western and Southern tennis open for the next 25 years or cutting our income taxes, because we all know that there's no such thing as government money, it's taxpayer money. And we want to keep more money in the wallets and in the budgets of our families and our businesses. The first bill I worked on, House Bill 1, was to move Ohio to a flat tax, and it turned out to be the foundation for our budget and give $2.2 billion of income tax cuts for all Ohioans. And that's already going into place, and we got that passed this year. While I was in there under the hood, I saw how close we are to joining the 7 or 8 other states that don't have any income tax. And Ohio can move to getting rid of our income tax and reclaim our place as the economic engine of the Midwest. We would be the only state from Tennessee to South Dakota to not have an income tax. And by being able to do that, we can right-size government and shrink it so that it stops intruding into our lives, as well as taking advantage of the resources underneath our feet. Ohio sits on a huge reservoir of natural gas, and then making sure that our tax code is simplified so that we don't have compliance issues. When we say we want to get rid of the income tax, the cost for that is $8 billion. That would be $8 billion of less revenue coming in. However, just right-sizing government, the budget we passed last time was $86 billion. In the 2010s, it was $60 billion. That's double the amount that we have, and that's just the growing of government. So it's more of a spending problem than a revenue problem. And we are able to have, by increasing economic activity, we can make up that type of shortfall. Every time that we've cut income taxes, including this time, we've actually had an increase of revenue because you have more economic activity. Whether that's income tax specifically, where we do even on a smaller percentage with more iterations, you get more money, or by unleashing small businesses and inviting larger businesses to come in, without raising the sales tax rate at all, keeping it solid, revenue increased by $3 billion over the last 6 years. And I would expect that to continue as we go and get rid of the income tax and welcome the large businesses like Intel and Honda, and have more places, whether it's Lebanon or Mason, where a small mom and pop shop can go and succeed.
Don't worry. The people are afraid. What I'm hearing, the fear is, well, they're going to tax all of our groceries.
Right.
Is that true?
That is not on the table whatsoever. We have looked, and so we have $8 billion that we have to make up. Constitutionally, Ohio requires us to balance our budget, even though we know that when you cut taxes, you actually can increase revenue. So that is why having that type of budgeting process where we have to have a balanced budget, we were surprised with $6 billion extra dollars because we cut taxes last time. 2 years later, we had more economic activity and actually increased revenues, even though we cut tax rates. And we'll see that type of effect as well. Ohio does not have sales tax at all on food, on diapers, on formula, on legal services, on debt collection, on rent. These things that we need to survive, we don't have sales tax on whatsoever. And so those people that are just getting by, I agree, we do not want the burden to fall on them. We want the economic engine to start roaring, and as that keeps continuing, then when people are buying and selling and doing good things, that's how we can fund our state. As well as, Ohio sits on the largest reservoir of natural gas, and the states that have been able to get to 0% income tax the best are states like Texas and South Dakota, where they rely on the energy underneath them. And one access point in the state of Ohio has already been quoted at $1.8 billion. And so conservatively, if we can unleash the natural gas underneath, that's the energy that we've been blessed with, we can be able to join those states that have 0% income tax without having it fall on those that can least afford it.
So, and I also think the Ohio Constitution says we're not allowed to tax food.
Right.
So
That's not on the table.
That's not even on the table.
I believe in constitutions.
We already talked about where the money we generated. Okay, now here's the opponents. The opponents, such as Bailey Williams with Policy Matters, Ohio, stated in Ohio Capital Journal, January 24th, that this would be shifting that burden to the lowest earning Ohioans. It's a slap in the face. Your thoughts on that statement?
As already mentioned, the taxes for your essentials are not taxed by sales tax already. And so whether it's food, formula, rent, legal services, and if we want to work together, the real differential that hits people that are of lower means is because of city income taxes. We have a higher poverty rate in our cities, and they're the ones that have large city income taxes, whether that's Dayton, whether that's Cincinnati. They're all creeping up to 3%. And let's work, because that type of taxation is really hurting those that are having a tough time making ends meet.
True, because I did a story earlier where some of the cities are actually, not only are you paying the city's income tax where you work, you're having to now pay a part of the income tax where you live. So it's double taxation. It is.
And it's taxation without representation. If I go and work in downtown Cincinnati, I don't get to vote on that tax rate. And that is unfair.
And you're getting
whammied with it.
And one other question, why do you think we all complain about taxes. We're being taxed to death, property tax, income tax, everything. But then when we discuss lowering or getting rid of taxes, it scares people. Why do you think that is?
I think there's a lot of miscommunication, which is why I've been going out. We've already had 8 town halls, and we're going to have more so that we can talk about how this is going to be done. Whenever government moves, and government is a large, powerful body, and every time it moves, there's sometimes unintended consequences, and people are concerned about those unintended consequences. So that is why Senator Huffman, Senator Lang, Rep. Romanchuk, and I have been going out, making sure that we're doing this right. I was able to do that with House Bill 1 and get to that $2.2 billion tax cut and make sure that we balance our budget as well. And making sure that we can balance our priorities and listen to our voters so that we can achieve and accomplish and really empower the Ohio that we know can be. We are building the momentum for the future. This is a 6-year plan, building with those that we know can be able to do the work. I've been up there and seen what's necessary to make bills move. I've had the most bills of any freshman pass through the House, and the 3rd most overall be able to pass out of the House. And they're all good, meaty bills. You mentioned taxes before. I've introduced bills to help on property taxes. I've passed a bill out of the House to simplify business taxes when you have multiple locations in Ohio, and done other things like expanded concealed carry or created transparency for our student loans and financial aid packets. And working with others in the General Assembly or in the state legislature that know how to get things done and know how to put the priorities of Ohioans first. And we're really doing that, whether we're running for a primary. We've been working on this plan for over a year now and making sure that we get it right and get everyone on board so that we can show the will of the people, will of the voters, that having 0% income tax is a goal that is attainable and desirable, and we are the ones to be able to do it.
And once it passes in the House,
yes,
it'll move on to the
Senate. And actually, it's because we're working with the Senate is working on a companion bill, so we could pass maybe in the House and the Senate at the same time, and they could go even faster.
Taxes are hard to understand, and people fear taxes, they fear change, but a lot of our money is going to taxes. I mean, the Boston Tea Party
was over taxes and taxes without representation, which is what we have in our cities, and we really want to get this work done. It takes diligence, and we know that the government taking our money sometimes is using it for good things, but a lot of times we know how best to use our money. And whether that is supporting our churches, supporting our families, supporting our businesses so that they can continue and grow. One of the ways that we can't model, but we've seen in other states that have gone to more tax-friendly situations, is they have to spend less money on their people because they're doing well. The best social program is a job. It's a reason for you to get up every morning, to have purpose, to invest in your community, invest in yourself, and hire others. And we want that to continue to be here in Ohio. You look, and Ohio spends 46% more per capita than Florida does. And that is because Florida's economy is just booming. And we're doing well, but we can be even better and reclaim our space as an economic engine.
And there's one other tax, and a lot of people don't know what this tax is, because the commercial activity tax. What is
the
that?
Commercial activities tax is an entirely unfair tax that taxes gross receipts rather than profits. So here in Warren County with King's Auto Mall, when they buy all their vehicles, even if they don't sell those vehicles at a profit, they're paying taxes on that. And it's really hurting our businesses. And those are small business owners there that are doing well, and getting rid of the commercial activity tax is something that's crucial. Every time that we have a large business that comes and wants to come and be in Ohio, one of the things that causes them to stumble, causes them to look elsewhere, is that commercial activity tax, because you can't control
Your gross income.
Right.
Because you're not allowed to take out what you spend.
Correct.
So you could actually take in, let's say you're doing a publication, you bring in $250,000, but it cost you $300,000, so you're $50,000 in the hole.
And then you're paying taxes on that too.
Yeah, you're still paying that.
It's a nasty tax, and we want to get rid of it.
That would be a good tax to get rid of too.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.